everybody. So I like to keep things generally positive here, but sometimes there's just things that don't work out, and I think it's helpful to hear about the products that didn't work because then you won't waste your money buying them. Or maybe you have a tip for me on how I'm using it wrong. That's always possible, more than likely. And maybe we can salvage something that's maybe not working out so well for me. So I have a few products, not a bunch, and as always, I need to start with every brand has great products and every brand has some flops, and I'm not hating on a brand, so don't get your panties in a twist and think I'm attacking your favorite brand. I am not. I also want to just like point out, aren't these fun? I have a football game to go to later tonight, a high school game, and our mascot is the rattlers, like rattlesnakes, and I got these they're snake ear crawlers from Bobble Bar, and they're supposed to be worn with the snake going up the side, but my ears weren't big enough, so I'm letting them dangle down, just as an aside as to why. If you're wondering why I'm wearing snakes, that would be why. Okay, let's just dig in the tin. The first is an eyeshadow palette that everyone on YouTube raved about for years and years ago. So long ago, in fact, that they released new formulas. So I have the old formula, the Marc Jacobs Lolita palette, the Lolita, and I really thought I would love it. I love the packaging, and it has this little protector over it, like that. Okay, so the first problem with this for me is that it's far more cool toned than I thought it would be, and I'm just not into the cool tones for the most part. The other issue is that this one has chunky glitter. Like I can feel, it's rough. It's like rubbing sandpaper almost. And it's horrible. The payoff is not great on any of these. In fact, most of these colors just sort of, the lighter ones just all merge into each other. There's not anything to it. And I love a light shimmery color, but there's not enough payoff. And for what this costs, it's just not worth it. However, I've been hearing rave reviews about the new formulation of these, so I'm hoping that it works out because I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna swatch on myself in person this time before I commit. Speaking of disappointing eyeshadow palettes, here's another one I have tried over and over and over. It's the Lorac Pro 3. Lorac Pro eyeshadow palette number 3. I have one, I don't have two. When I saw this, I thought this is my dream palette. It has every neutral, warm tone, lighter scale of the fence color. And they're all absolutely beautiful and lovely. Here's the problem. You put them on, I don't care what eyeshadow primer you use, 10 to 30 minutes later, it's like you didn't do your eyeshadow. It literally just evaporates and or falls down onto your face, especially the shimmer shades on the bottom. I don't know why? I think things like this are more of a disappointment, say, than like a palette that I kind of had a feeling wasn't going to work because I had such high hopes for this. I thought this would be like the holy grail, be all and end all, and it's just not. I keep trying. Some people love it. I wanted to love it. All right, I touched on this a little bit in my Charlotte Tilbury Nordstrom video. This is the Color Chameleon Shadow Stick in Champagne Diamonds. It's for blue eyes. And it's, it's just a basic shadow stick. The problem is it's super, super soft, so it constantly needs to be sharpened. But even worse is that it has chunky glitter. It's like the shadow stick version of the Marc Jacobs palette. And so it's chunky, it doesn't go on smoothly on the eye, and the glitter falls off all over your face. We're gonna pretend like Rowdy is not behind me doing weird things. Okay, another major fail. Poor Charlotte. She had some great products, but there are 3 that are just... this is the Legendary Brows. We're not eating Mommy's makeup. We don't. You want to say hi? Come here. There's Rowdy. Here you go. No. I love you. We don't nibble. Okay, back to the makeup. So this is Legendary Brows. I like it in theory. I love this teeny tiny wand. Like it is, I don't even know if it's 1/8 of an inch thick. It's like nothing. The problem is it's so thin that the product can't stick to it, and so you can't do your brows. It doesn't do anything. The comb is the teeth on the comb, so to speak, are so short they can't grab the hairs. It doesn't transfer the product on. And for what you're paying for this pretty packaging, it should be able to do something, which it is not. And let's continue to trash Charlotte Tilbury a little bit more. This is the Legendary Lashes, which in the original video, loved. And then something happened to the formula. Within days, it turned into just, I talked about this in my favorites video, so I won't go into too much. It just fell off my face. Fell off my lashes onto my face. So huge disappointment, because when you wear it, nice big fat, thick bristle, black mascara, and then it's black. Basically, when you wear this, you might as well just run it down your cheeks, because that's what's gonna happen anyway. So that's unfortunate. All right, let's just keep trashing high-end products. I purchased this thinking this is gonna be the best thing ever. This is the Confidence in a Compact from IT Cosmetics. If you've watched me for a while, you know I love the IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream, Your Skin But Better CC cream. Best thing ever. Wear it at least once or twice a week, almost year round. However, this guy, I got it in the shade Fair. Their shade ranges are not great, like we all know this. The Fair is a little too fair, the Light's a little too light, and it's just really kind of greasy and cakey, and it's thick, and I don't use the pad, but major disappointment. Just not, there's no comparison. It just did not go well. I have dry skin, and it was just so thick and heavy no matter how I tried it. I guess I could have tried it with a beauty blender. That would have maybe worked, but that sort of defeats the purpose of having it in a compact. So between the terrible shade range and the terrible application, this was a no-go. No bueno. Okay, let's do drugstore. Let's trash a drugstore product. Milani. And I've talked about how much I like this, and I still like one end of it. So one end of this guy, it is, I can't read it. Yes, I can. This is the Milani Contour and Highlight Cream and Liquid Duo. So this is the cream side, and it is a bullet contour stick. And I love this light ashy shade. You cannot go wrong with this. Look at that. I mean, perfect. And so if you are, you know, not the greatest at contouring, this is such a great idea, because you can literally draw it on exactly where you need it, and then it blends out beautifully. But because it's a cream, you do have to set, I highly recommend setting this with a similar color powder. Otherwise, it will run. But I like this end. What I don't love is the liquid side. It has a doe foot applicator, and the problem is when you start smearing this over your existing foundation and concealer, it's very, there it is right there. It's very watery, and there's not really any sheen to it. It's just like wet. You're just putting wet concealer on your face, basically. So you don't get any highlight, and it messes up the makeup underneath. So this was a fail. They should have done just cream. Like Benefits, what was it, What's Up? That would have been great. I don't know why they bothered with the liquid. That was a bad idea. What else do we have? Let's continue with the drugstore. So this is the Rimmel Brow Shake filling powder. It's a really interesting concept. So you open this guy up, you shake it up. Let's shake it up to give it its full. And then it has, I don't even know how to describe what's happening here. It's like a very narrow felt tip end, and it's dipped with the powder clings to it, and then you draw on the powder. Well, it's a mess. And that's the blonde shade. It's very dark. It gets everywhere. There it is. That's way too dark. It could have, I like it in theory, but again, in practice, doesn't work out so well, like many things in life. On paper, it sounds good. Then you execute it, and it fails in its execution. Next, we have a couple of offerings from Makeup Forever for brows. I've had these a long time. I've been trying to get them to work. It's not been going well. So first off, they released a bunch of brow pencils, specifically the brow pencil is what it's called. Well, that's helpful. I like it when they just get to it. This is what it is. We're not going to come up with something weird. They have a bunch of different shades. They're very hard. And there's like no, I mean, I am pushing as hard as I can, and there's literally nothing, no color transfer. Ow. Okay, if you do the very point, I mean, this is unbelievable. Like, these are exactly in formulation and consistency of the really cheap original CoverGirl or Maybelline brow pencils from like 20 years ago. So not good. Save your money. So many other great brow products. God, I feel so negative. Like I'm not enjoying this, but we're gonna press on. Then they have the brow liner. Again, I thought this is gonna be amazing. So I have here shade 10, which is the lightest shade, and you shake it up. It's basically like a felt tip liner for your eyebrows, and it has a very fine little tip. And it's a great concept, but it doesn't really transfer well onto the skin again. Like your hairs get in the way and it starts going all over the place. And again, it's very dark. And to get all those little hairs, like to draw in a full tail, you're gonna have to keep dipping in back and forth, back and forth. And the lightest shade is very dark. So it starts off dark and gets darker. So this was a no-go. I wore this once in a video, and a bunch of people are like, what happened to your brows? So that's not good. And then lastly, I love certain things they do. Like I want to talk about their new individual highlighters and sculpting powders and blushes and Rowdy, but that's another video. That's a good thing. This is not a good thing. This is the brow gel. Again, thank you to Makeup Forever for at least naming it what it is. It has a very oddly shaped brush. I'll zoom in so you can see it. It has one side is basically flat and the other side has graduated bristles. So they start short and get longer. I don't know how to get this on my face. Like it just is so awkward and not user friendly and you end up getting it all over. It just shouldn't. Here's the deal. I know I'm not doing this right. I know I'm not a professional makeup artist and Makeup Forever is definitely designed for professional makeup artists, but it's sold in Sephora. It is sold in mainstream places where non-professionals are buying their makeup. It is marketed towards all of us, normal, non-professional people. I shouldn't have to think this hard or work this hard to figure out how to use it. It's makeup. Like I should not need a manual that's where I'm coming with this, especially when it's expensive. This should be intuitive. I don't, this is like physics. No. So that's my problem there. Okay. Moving on. Clinique. I have yet to use a Clinique foundation skin product that has the right tone for me. I have never been able to be matched in Clinique foundation, which annoys me because they have some great foundations. I just can't use any of them. So when they sent me these DIY blend it yourself pigment drops, I thought this is gonna be great. No. Again, I have yellow undertones, but they take yellow to a whole, whoa. Okay, you heard me shaking it. It just is this watery, it's running down my hand. So it's really messy. And my problem with these blend it drop things is that, like I said, they're very watery, and because of that, when you mix it with a foundation, you're supposed to mix it with here we go. You're supposed to mix it with your moisturizer, but because it's so watery in consistency and not as heavily pigmented like the Cover FX drops are, you don't get a consistent mixture. And so when you're mixing it into the moisturizer and you apply it to your face, one side's gonna end up being more covered than the other. It's just, I don't like this. I like the idea, but it did not work for me. I'm sorry, Clinique. Thank you for sending it to me, but it was a no-go. Okay, Estee Lauder. I actually really like this. It just didn't work for me. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Cushion Stick Radiant Makeup. And okay, one of the problems is I can never remember which end is the applicator. So here we go. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right, it has a cushion stick on one side. So yes, if you're into hygiene, this is gonna make you nuts. The idea is you twist this end up, and the last time I did this, oh my gosh, I don't know if I wanna do this on camera. The last time I did this, it erupted, which is not appropriate. Okay, so we're gonna try it. So I'm twisting and twisting. Oh, and there it did it. It did it. So it twists and twists and it doesn't have any give, so you can't tell if it's getting close to the explosion that's coming. So this is probably more product than I need. So what I was doing to make it less germy is I you know, twist it up and get the product out and then take it and with my finger and dot it all over my face and then blend it in. So I like it in concept, I guess. It's a little messy, but it just didn't last on me very long. It's not like a double wear that really, you know, lasts, and it oxidized. And I've never had an Estee Lauder product oxidize on me before, so that was a little weird. So between the weird delivery and it's a little too radiant even for me, and that's saying a lot. The fact that I can, oh, you don't twist it, you just smack it in, and then, yeah. Anyway, just stick with the regular Estee Lauder double wear. You know, I wish they would just spend less time coming up with weird ways to deliver the product and just put a freaking pump in the Estee Lauder double wear foundations. Said it. Okay. So drugstore brand, L'Oreal sent these to me. These are their color correcting, pro color correcting palette here. These have, you know, like the different colors to correct. And then this is just the straight up concealer. I just grabbed, this is probably not my shade, 200. I think this is the lightest one. Anyway, here's the problem. These are cream concealers, and in theory, this would be great to have, but they're really greasy, and they just sit on top of your makeup, and they smear whatever you have on underneath around, and then they kind of like break up on your face. So while L'Oreal makes very many wonderful things, these two are not them. And then lastly, this guy. So if you follow me on Instagram, I posted this in my stories and said, really, Urban Decay, really? I think I'm just getting too old for this. This is the Urban Decay Troublemaker mascara, and it's billed as super fat, super long. Here we go. Sex-proof mascara. And they say they tested it. That's a little TMI, Urban Decay. I really don't. So it's supposed to give you 13.7 times the lash volume. I don't even know how you, okay, whatever. The packaging is really cool if you're into like the unicorny holographic stuff. The actual mascara, nothing to write home about. I don't get it. Like, there's 1,000,001 amazing mascaras that will rock your world. This is not one of them. It looks like they spent a lot of time on the packaging and a lot of time on coming up with something kind of naughty to get your attention on the press stuff and marketing materials. But as far as the quality of what's in this thing, not so much. That is it. Those are my current makeup fails, disappointments, heartbreak. I mean, I want every product to work. I mean, that's the goal, is for everyone to have a makeup drawer full of the best things they've ever bought and love every single one. So hopefully none of you have this in your makeup stash, and if you do, you love it and it works for you, but these did not for me. If you like these, I will do more of them as, you know, I collect enough to talk about. I've been going for a while, so I'm gonna zip it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.